Hey guys, it's Chronic Splendor here. I'm having a bit of trouble with my webcam and my audio, so I've resorted to using a mic, but it might come out as a bit low quality, so just as I'm trying to figure out these problems, just bear with me. Um, but today I'm going to be talking about the Breaking Bad Season 4 premiere. It aired last Sunday, July 17th. It's been a couple days, but I've been sorting through these problems, so I haven't had a chance to upload this video before. So here I am now. If you haven't watched the show before, I would suggest starting from the beginning because there's lots of story and continuity ties. And overall, it's an excellent show. Probably one of the best on network television right now, depending on what you like. But it's a really good show. It's really critically received. It's really well received by viewers, so check it out. The acting is phenomenal. Pretty much everything about the show is great, so check it out if you haven't yet. If you have, you probably already watched the season premiere by now. If not, give it a look, and it's totally worth it. It's a bit slow. It's a bit slower paced than usual, but it's a really enjoyable episode, and it really sets the tone of the season. So check it out if you haven't. Okay, so since I'm going to be reviewing / talking about the season premiere, there's going to be spoilers, so if you don't want anything spoiled from you, then I would suggest to stop watching now. Okay, so basically the season premiere starts right off from this bat from where season 3 left off when Jesse killed Gale, and it basically deals with the consequences of Walter and Jesse's actions while setting the tone for the rest of the season. And for that reason, it's a bit slow paced because it has to deal with what happened. So overall, I found it a really good episode. It wasn't amazing, but it was necessary and it was good. So basically, the episode starts off with a little monologue of Gale just to showcase his character a bit more and to make the impact of his death, I guess, more strong than it would be before. Just reminding you that he was a nice and innocent guy that just got caught up in the wrong situation. So basically, the meat and potatoes of the episode is Walt, Jesse, Mike, Victor, and Gus in the meth lab, dealing with the consequences of last season. And then there's a bit of side plot with Hank and Skylar, but other than that, the focus is mostly on Walt and Jesse. So basically, the interesting thing about the episode is that Walter and Jesse don't have many lines throughout the entire episode. I think Jesse has a couple lines just at the end of the episode, but other than that, he's completely silent through the rest of it. So a lot of Walt and Jesse's characters are portrayed through facial expressions and body language, so it's a good opportunity for the actors to really show off their acting chops, even though we already know they're great actors from the last season. But there is a major, not really a major death, but a death that happens. The creators did say that they were going to plan on killing someone right off the bat, so it was to be expected. As to who it was, most people predicted Victor, and that was correct. Gus kills Victor because he, at the beginning of the episode, he runs to the crime scene and finds Gale murdered, and he basically freaks out, and because he was there present as a witness, people can place him at the scene, so Gus doesn't want that to lead back to him, so he has to kill him. But the way they did it was really suspenseful because basically Walt and Jesse are just sitting there silent in the lab with Mike staring at them, and Victor decides that he's going to start cooking, and he basically goes methodically about the steps, explaining that he observes Walt and Jesse, knows what to do, and Walter's like protesting on their behalf, just keeps on preaching his case, like, you're going to forget the aluminum. He's not going to do that. He's not going to do this. We're good. You need us. Let's just understand that what I did was necessary and that I wouldn't have done it if my hand wasn't forced. And no one ever, really says anything back to him. He's just basically talking to thin air. And then Gus comes in, doesn't say a word, walks over, puts a hazmat suit on, walks up to Victor, and stabs him. But the way they did that was, it looked like he was going to kill Walt, Jesse, or at least torture them. But Walt's like, Gus, you're a smart man. You know, what we did was necessary, and even though it's going to be an uneasy partnership, we still have to live through it. But he kills Victor because he could be placed at the crime scene, and he doesn't want that leading back to him. So basically, he just walks up to Victor, kills him, walks back, puts his suit back on, walks out, and right before he leaves, you're thinking that he's not going to say anything, but he basically is just like, what are you waiting for? Start cooking. So then they have to start emptying the body and dissolving it and getting rid of it. And you can tell that Walt and Jesse are scared out of their mind. And you can see a little bit of disgust on Mike's face too. But at the end of the episode, Walt and Jesse are at a Denny's. And Walt's, because he's a chemist, he's just like concerned about what's going to happen next. And he's like, what's our next move? What are we going to do? And he's worrying about what's going to happen next. So while Walt's sitting there, planning out their next move and wondering what's going to happen next, Jesse's like, basically, Jesse seems to have accepted his lot in life, and he's just like, they killed Victor. It's not like they're going to find another chemist soon. Like Walt said, once they find another chemist, we're gone. They're going to toss us out like trash, because that's what they were going to do before with Gale. And Jesse's like, it'll take them a long time to find a chemist. Well, first off, that they trust or can trust, and secondly, one that is as experienced as us or Gale, because they need that high percentage. And it's clear that Walt is not going to sit there and let Jesse tell him what to do, because Walt's all about his family and what he's going to do for himself. Even though he says we, he really means me. So it looks like his selfishness is going to drive him off the edge past the point of breaking bad and simply being bad. And the previews seem to allude to him becoming the Heisenberg character again, but really this time getting into the persona, and it's unclear as to whether he'll be able to escape from it this time, or if it'll completely take him over. And Jesse, even though he on the outside he seems to have accepted his lot, he seems to have been masking his fear, not only from seeing Victor murdered in front of him, but also mostly from killing Gale, because he killed an innocent man, and I don't think he's going to be able to ever forgive himself for that, even though, however much Walt says it was necessary. So basically, there's not much else to talk about. Victor dying, not really a major thing, because I don't think anyone really loved his character. He was just like basically a goon for Gus. Gus had a good moment, and Mike didn't say much, but he seems to maybe be drifting a little bit from Gus, because even how professional he says he may be, he looks like he was disgusted with what Gus did. So there was a little bit of side stuff, as I mentioned before, with Skylar and Hank. Hank's basically dealing with the loss of his leg last season, and Marie's telling him that, good job, it's all going to be okay, and Hank seems like he's not going to take any of that. Like, Hank's pissed because he lost his legs, and Skylar seems to be her usual, crazy self, getting into the business a lot more, delving headfirst into it rather than just waiting around. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this season. From the looks of the season premiere, it looks like the season will be really action-oriented, more violent than it's ever been, more bloodier, because right off the bat they already killed a character. So it looks like pretty much anyone's fair game other than Walt and Jesse, and it's unclear whether this will be the end of the season, end of the series, or simply the beginning of the end. So, who knows? Walt looks like he's further digging his grave, and this season, I'm really excited for what's going to happen next. The next episode airs next Sunday, the 24th. So, I will be here next week sounding off my comments on that. So, if you want to leave a comment in the box, feel free. And I will see you next week. Okay, bye.